Before we begin, I want you to imagine something. Imagine that 10 years from now, you wake up one morning and realize nothing changed. The dream is still a dream. The business never started. The channel was never created. The book was never written. The person you wanted to become never arrived. Not because you failed. Not because you weren't capable. But because you kept waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting for more confidence. Waiting until you finally felt ready. Now ask yourself something honestly. What is more painful? Failing at something you truly wanted, or reaching the end of your life and discovering that fear made every important decision for you? Because that is exactly what happens to most people. Not because they are weak, not because they lack intelligence, but because they believe one of the most dangerous lies ever told. The lie that one day they will finally feel ready. Marcus Aurelius never felt ready to rule an empire. Seneca never felt ready for exile. Epictetus never felt ready for hardship. Yet history remembers them because they acted anyway. And that is what separates extraordinary people from ordinary ones. Not talent, not luck, not intelligence. Action, the willingness to move before certainty arrives. The willingness to take a step while fear is still whispering in their ear. The willingness to begin. The Stoics understood something most people never learn. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is your test. Every meaningful opportunity comes wrapped in uncertainty. Every important decision comes with risk. Every great transformation begins with discomfort. Yet most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid discomfort. Not luck, not circumstances, only your choices. And once you understand this, something incredible happens. You stop demanding guarantees from life. You stop waiting for certainty. You stop negotiating with fear. You simply focus on the next step, the next action, the next opportunity, because that is all anyone has ever truly controlled. Think about every person you admire. The entrepreneur, the athlete, the artist, the creator, the leader. None of them started with certainty. None of them knew exactly what would happen. None of them felt completely prepared. They moved forward despite uncertainty. That is why they became who they became. The difference between people who transform their lives and people who don't is rarely knowledge. Most people already know what they should do. The difference is execution. One person acts, the other waits. One embraces uncertainty, the other searches endlessly for reassurance. One becomes stronger through experience, the other remains trapped in preparation, and life rewards the person who moves. Not because life is fair, but because action creates possibilities. Waiting creates nothing. Imagine standing before a dark forest. You cannot see the end of the path. You cannot see what lies ahead. You cannot know where every turn leads. Most people refuse to enter. They demand certainty before movement. But certainty never comes. The courageous person understands something different. The path reveals itself only after the first step, not before. And this is how every meaningful journey begins. Not with confidence, not with certainty, with action. The first video will be imperfect. The first business idea may fail. The first speech may be awkward. The first attempt may embarrass you. Good. That means you're beginning. Every master was once a beginner. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every successful person was once unknown. What separated them from everyone else was not confidence. It was the willingness to look foolish while learning, the willingness to fail while growing, the willingness to move before they felt ready. That is why confidence is not the cause of action. Confidence is the result of action. Read that again. Confidence is not the cause of action. Confidence is the result of action. You earn confidence through experience, through repetition, through mistakes, through persistence, not through waiting. Never through waiting.com. The life you want is probably hidden behind the action you're avoiding, the conversation you're postponing, the opportunity you're afraid to pursue, the project you've delayed, the risk you've refused to take. Growth rarely lives inside comfort. Growth waits on the other side of fear. And fear knows that, which is why it works so hard to keep you where you are. Safe, comfortable, predictable, unchanged.com. But remember this. Comfort has never created greatness. Comfort has never built character. Comfort has never transformed a life. Every meaningful achievement requires stepping into uncertainty. Every meaningful achievement requires courage, not extraordinary courage, just enough courage to take the next step. And perhaps that is all you need right now. Not a perfect plan, not complete confidence, not certainty about the future. Just one step, one action, one decision, one beginning, because the truth is simple. Nobody ever felt ready. Not Marcus Aurelius, not Seneca, not Epictetus, not the people who changed history, not the people who changed their own lives. They stood exactly where you stand now, afraid, uncertain, doubtful, and then they made a choice. They stopped waiting, they started, and that single decision changed everything. So ask yourself, how much longer will you wait? How much longer will you let fear decide? How much longer will you postpone the life you know you're capable of living? Because time is moving. Whether you act or not, the years are passing. Whether you act or not, your life is unfolding. Whether you act or not, the only question is this: when you look back years from now, will you be grateful that you waited, or grateful that you finally took the first step? Choose wisely, because nobody ever felt ready. They just went anyway.